it's Aika, and today I'm not too sure what to call this video. It's kind of like my November slash December TBR, so my TBR for the rest of the year, because it's already November, which is so crazy. I feel like October didn't even happen, but it's also my most anticipated reads, and it's also some books that I just recently got. So it's all of those, and all of these books are also fantasy romance because I'm in my little romantasy era right now, and I'm pretty sure most of them are also enemies to lovers. So there we go. That's what this video is. So that's what this video is, I guess. It's a November slash December TBR slash my most anticipated reads slash some books I just got slash romantasy enemies to lovers recommendations. I actually tried filming this video a couple days ago, but it didn't go well because I was very upset and I ended up just ranting. So here we are. I am absolutely livid right now. Oh my god. So Iron Flame is one of my most anticipated releases. I needed it like as soon as I finished Fourth Wing. It just came out yesterday. And I'm over here doing my assignment and I'm like, oh, let me take a break. Let me go on my phone. And I look on TikTok and some person decides to comment 3 spoilers on a video that wasn't even about Iron Flame. I posted a video about Fourth Wing yesterday, and this person just goes and comments these 3 spoilers for Iron Flame, and I'm pretty sure it spoiled the whole book for me. I'm pretty sure those spoilers are like the big plot points in this book, and now I just had the whole book spoiled for me. And they had the audacity to put like the smirking emojis, like 5 of them, and then put like the face with like the hearts floating around emoji, like I hope your pillow is warm on both sides. I hope you step on a Lego. I'm genuinely so upset. I had The Ballad of Never After spoiled for me, but I think I'm more upset now because this person went on my account and commented a spoiler. No spoiler warnings or anything, they just commented a spoiler on my account on my video. At least when I got spoilers for The Ballad of Never After, it was on someone else's video that they posted. They just didn't put a spoiler warning on it. But literally, why? How? This book just released. It's literally the 8th. It just released yesterday. And you're already going around spoiling it for people? Like, that's so inconsiderate. And I was so looking forward to reading this book. And now I feel like I've just had like the full experience of it ripped away from me. I literally told myself I was going to be productive today and I was going to get like all my shit done just so that I could spend tonight reading this book, and I was so excited. And now I have it spoiled. I was gonna film a video of like my November and December TBR and just like anticipated reads I have for the rest of the year, but I think I'm gonna film that another day because right now I'm too mad. I'm too upset. I'm not like an angry person either. The only time I'm ever really angry is when I'm driving because I get really bad road rage. But other than that, it's really hard to make me angry. But oh. And like, I don't care if like people think I'm dramatic for this or whatever, but it's just, I was so excited for it. You know, and it's like you can't read a book for the first time ever again. You can't like experience it for the first time ever again. So now I feel like I've had those experiences ripped away from me, and I am so upset. So going off of that video, my most anticipated read, my first one is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, and it's the second book of Fourth Wing, and I started it already, actually. I tabbed quite a bit. I am 250 pages in, and so far I'm really enjoying it because a lot is happening, which I really like because it's not slow. But if you've never read Fourth Wing is a new adult fantasy book. It's enemies to lovers. So it's about a girl who is forced by her mother to join the Dragon Rider Quadrant of this military college, and she's actually been trained her whole life to be a scribe or a historian and not a writer like her mom and her two siblings are. She was supposed to be a scribe like her father. And everything in this writer quadrant has potential to be deadly. From the very first moment you sign up to enter, you could die. And so you either graduate or you die because either one of the other cadets is going to kill you, the dragons are going to kill you, one of the lessons or the sparring or the trials are going to kill you. So the main character, Violet, she's forced by her mom to join this quadrant, and she's just trying her best in there. She's trying her best to survive and also to hopefully bond a dragon like every other rider there. But when she gets there, when she gets to the rider quadrant, her superior turns out to be this dude named Xaden Ryerson, who absolutely hates her guts because he has a personal vendetta against her mother, who is a general. So that's your little description of Fourth Wing, but so far I'm loving this book. Okay, going off of like books that I am currently reading, I'm also reading Kingdom of the Feared by Carrie Maniscalco right now. It's the third book in Kingdom of the Wicked, which I really enjoyed the first book. I read the first book, I think, in 2021, and then I just did my second reread of it this year when I decided to finally finish this whole series. I didn't love the second book, but hopefully this one is better. I'm only about 50 pages through, but I'm a little caught up with Iron Flame right now to continue reading this. If you've never read Kingdom of the Wicked, or if you've never heard of Kingdom of the Wicked, it's a young adult fantasy book, but I stand by this. It would have been so much better if it was a new adult or an adult fantasy book. So much wasted potential in that. And it has like a lot of spice for it to be in the young adult category, in my opinion. So Kingdom of the Wicked, it's about a witch who finds her twin sister murdered with her heart ripped out of her chest. And so in order to solve the murder and also uncover all the secrets her twins been hiding from her, she tries to summon a demon, but she accidentally summons one of the demon princes, or one of the princes of hell. And the princes of hell, they are based off of the 7 deadly sins. So there's the Prince of Wrath, Prince of Envy, Prince of Greed, Gluttony, and so on. So she accidentally summons the Prince of Wrath, and now he has to work for her because she summoned him. And so they have to work together to solve the murder, but he has his own like agenda to why he wants to solve the murder as well. But it's a fun read, and they have great banter. So Kingdom of the Wicked, moving on. Throne of the Fallen, also by Carrie Maniscalco. It is a spin-off book to Kingdom of the Wicked. So I think she's making like a spin-off series that's going to feature a different Prince of Hell in each book. So it's like standalones. This one is about the Prince of Envy. And can we appreciate this cover? Because this thing is gorgeous. This is a Barnes & Noble's exclusive cover. I'm not too sure what this is about. I don't know if it's enemies to lovers or not, but I'll read the blurb in just a second. I'm not sure if you need to read Kingdom of the Wicked before you read Throne of the Fallen. I think I heard that you don't have to. It's just kind of like a Carvel Once Upon a Broken Heart thing where you'll enjoy it more if you've read one before the other. And I'm so excited about this. This is an adult fantasy, which is what I've been craving since Kingdom of the Wicked, because with that amount of tension that she can build in Kingdom of the Wicked, a young adult novel, we needed an adult book. So a little blurb for this. Sinner, villain, wicked. The Prince of Envy has never claimed to be a saint, but when a cryptic note arrives signaling the beginning of a deadly game, he knows it will take more than a hint of sin to win and save his falling demon court. Riddles, hexed objects, and anonymous players, nothing will stand in his way. Though none of his meticulous plans prepare him for her, the frustrating artist who ignites his sin like no other. Virtuous, darling, liar. The trouble with scoundrels and blackguards is that they haven't a modicum of honor, a fact that Miss Camilla... Let me redo that, because apparently I don't know how to speak. A fact Miss Camilla Antonius learns after one desperate mistake allows Waverly Green's most notorious rake to blackmail her. To avoid a ruinous scandal, Camilla is forced to enter a devil's bargain with Envy, little expecting his game will awaken her true nature. Together, Envy and Camilla must embark a perilous journey through the underworld, from glittering demon courts to the sultry vampire realm and beyond, while trying to avoid the most dangerous trap of all, falling in love. Oh yeah, I'm very, very excited about this one. I'm excited that it's an adult book. And I like how they're forced to work together. Actually, I think that's how most enemies to lovers are. They're forced to work with each other. I don't know if they're enemies to lovers or not, but still very excited for this. So next book is actually Vengeance of a Pirate Queen, and it's the third book in Daughter of the Pirate King, which I thought Daughter of the Pirate King was a completed duology when I read it, and it is. This is just a spin-off book. So if you've never read Daughter of the Pirate King, it's about this girl. Her name is Alosa, and she is the daughter of the Pirate King. And she was sent undercover to go aboard an enemy ship where she meets Raiden, who's the first mate of that ship, and she has to pretend to be captured, pretty much. Or she needs to let herself be captured by this enemy ship for her own mission that her father sent her on. So that's what Daughter of the Pirate King is about, and that one is enemies to lovers. They have terrific banter in that one, which is partially why I'm so looking forward to this book, because I'm expecting the same type of banter I saw in Daughter of the Pirate King, where it's very, like, teasing and flirty, and it's just fun. This book right here, it's a young adult fantasy, just like the other Daughter of the Pirate King books. So this book features two characters from the original Daughter of the Pirate King duology, Sorinda, who is an assassin, and also Kieran. So they work together under Alosa, who is now the Pirate Queen, and they really dislike each other, but they are sent by the Pirate Queen to go on a mission together, and so they have to work together. But along their mission, they accidentally wake up the king of the undersea, and he is a being who can control the dead. So now there are, like, bigger forces at play, I guess, and I'm excited for this. I like a good, fun little young adult fantasy, but I'm assuming this one's gonna be more of like a dislike or hate to love rather than a true enemies to lovers like Daughter of the Pirate King was. But nevertheless, I'm looking forward to this book. Okay, so next book, it's also actually released the same day as Vengeance of the Pirate Queen and Iron Flame and the Fourth Wing Holiday Edition. So all of those came out on November 7th, which really made my pockets hurt, because I need to stop spending money on books, but they're all releasing on the same day and I want them all. So what is a girl supposed to do? Tell me. What was I supposed to do? I had to get them. So yeah, next book is Powerless by Lauren Roberts, and I've actually been following this author since she first pitched her book on Book Talk in 2021. I remember seeing her video and I saved it, and I've been following her ever since, and I never realized that she actually already self-published the book earlier this year. But by the time I did realize that she did, I couldn't get it anymore because it was about to be traditionally published. So the traditionally published version came out November 7th, and this is the Barnes & Noble's exclusive, and I'm honestly not too sure what this book is about. It's just one of those books that, like, every single time I post something, people are always like, oh my god, Powerless, this is so Powerless, Powerless is so good, this isn't Powerless. So then I'm like, oh, well, crap, now I need to read Powerless. Which, I mean, I've been wanting to since, like, 2021, the first time I saw the author, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna read the blurb because I'm not too sure what it's about, actually. So it is a young adult, enemies to lovers fantasy romance. And here's the little blurb. Only the extraordinary belong in the kingdom of Ilya, the exceptional, the elites. The elites have possessed powers for decades, gifted to them by the plague, while those born ordinary are just that, banished from the kingdom of Ilya and shunned from society. No one knows this. My stomach is grumbling so loud, I hope you can't hear that. No one knows this better than Peyton Gray, an ordinary posing as a psychic to blend in with the elites. But when she unwittingly saves one of Ilya's princes, Kai Azar, she's thrown into the Purging Trials, a brutal competition showcasing the elites' powers. If the trials and the opponents within them don't kill her, the prince she's fighting feelings for will if he discovers what Peyton is. Completely ordinary. Like, it sounds good. It reminds me a little bit of Red Queen. I'm not too sure why. Maybe it's because, like, she's posing to be something she isn't, which is what, like, Mare Barrow had to do. And also the trial thing, which... Is that how Mare got discovered to have powers in Red Queen? I haven't read Red Queen in a hot minute, so I'm not too sure, but I think that's what happens. Okay, this next book, I think this book is going to be my next read once I finish Iron Flame and also Kingdom of the Feared, but it is The Hurricane Wars by Thea. I don't know how to say her last name, and I don't want to butcher it. Thea Guanzon? Hopefully I said that right. If not, I'm so sorry for butchering her name. I saw one video of one person recommending this book, and I was like, oh, I'm sold. And then that same day I went to Barnes & Nobles and got it. I don't know, it sounded really good, but I haven't seen it talked about since then. But I am very, very excited to read this. It's a new adult fantasy. For some reason I thought it was going to be young adult, but it's new adult. Look at the end papers of the map. Like, that's cool. That's a cool map right there. So it is enemies to lovers. I'm gonna read the blurb because, again, I don't know much about this book. The heart is a battlefield. All Taliesin has ever known is the Hurricane Wars. Growing up an orphan in a nation under siege by the ruthless Night Emperor, she found her family among the soldiers who fight for freedom. But Taliesin is hiding a deadly secret. Light magic courses through her veins, a blazing power that can cut through the Night Emperor's shadows. Wow, oh my god. I'm sorry, I'm pissing myself off because apparently I don't know how to talk today. A blazing power that can cut through the Night Empire's shadows, believed to have been wiped out years ago. Prince Alaric, the Emperor's only son and heir, has been tasked with the Prince Alaric, the Emperor's only son and heir, has been tasked with obliterating any threats to the Night Empire's rule with the strength of his armies and his mighty shadow magic. He discovers the greatest threat yet in Taliesin, a girl burning brightly with the magic that killed his grandfather, turned his father into a monster, and ignited the Hurricane Wars. He tries to kill her, but in a clash of light and dark, their powers merge and create a force the likes of which has never been seen before. This war can end only with them, but an even greater danger is coming, and their combined magic could be the only way to overcome it. Taliesin and Alaric must decide. Can they work together to save their world, or will they end up destroying each other? So, next read after I finish Kingdom of the Feared and Iron Flame. Okay, next is actually a series, and it is Only a Monster and Never a Hero. Only the first two books are out right now, but Only a Monster, this is going to be a reread. This book was one of my favorite books last year. It's a young adult fantasy novel. I think it has the potential to be enemies to lovers. I'm not too sure because I haven't read book 2 yet, but in book 1 I could see potential for it, and it would be more of like a slow burn type thing, like in Once Upon a Broken Heart, where like you'll see like the enemies to lovers happen in book 2. But this book is by Vanessa Len, and I think it's so underrated because I love this book. I think it's so refreshing because I think it has like a really different world from most fantasy books, at least the fantasy books that I read. So Only a Monster by Vanessa Len is about this girl named Joanne who is visiting her grandmother in London, and while she's there she meets this boy, and his name is Nick. And she likes him, and she goes out on a date with him, but while they're on this date, she finds out that her family is actually one of the monster families. And monsters are beings who have powers, and they also can steal time from human lives to use it to time travel. And Nick, the boy she's out on a date with, is the destined hero that is supposed to end all monsters. So now she has to work with Aaron Oliver, who is the heir to another monster family, and he hates her. His whole family hates her family. so Nick is trying to kill her, and she's supposed to kill Nick as well, I mean, because he's trying to kill her. And she also has to work with this guy who absolutely hates her guts because his family hates hers. This was a good book. It was a fun book. But yeah, I'm very excited for Never a Hero, which is book 2. This is the Fairy Loot edition. As soon as I saw it, I had to get it because it's so pretty. Like this, look at the sprayed edges. Isn't it gorgeous? And also the end papers on here. And look at the foil. Oh, if Fairy Loot wasn't so expensive. I would love to get a Fairy Loot subscription, but I can't afford that. So I bought this and then I was like, oh crap, I can't read this copy because it's too pretty and then I can't tab it. So I bought another copy, the regular edition that matches this to actually read. But if you haven't read Only a Monster, do it. It's good, it's fun. It's not really a romance, but it's pretty fun. And I mean, there's a little bit of like sprinkle of tension in there. So the last 2 books that are on my TBR for the rest of the year, I actually don't have yet, but it's Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. So I was actually gonna buy Divine Rivals a few times, but every single time I went to buy it, my Barnes & Nobles was always out of it. And then I found out that Ruthless Vows is coming out next month anyways, so I thought I might just wait until Ruthless Vows is out so I could read Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows back to back since it's just gonna be a duology. And Divine Rivals is another book that I absolutely know nothing about. It's just one that keeps getting commented on my posts and people are like, oh my god, Divine Rivals, this is so Divine Rivals is so good. And I'm like, what is Divine Rivals about? But apparently everyone's obsessed with Divine Rivals, so I need to get on board the Divine Rivals train. But that's gonna wait until next month when I could get Ruthless Vows. Divine Rivals, it's by Rebecca Ross, and it is a historical fiction, young adult, fantasy, romance. It is enemies to lovers. I'm gonna read the blurb because I don't know it. So, when 2 young rival journalists find love through a magical connection, they must face the depths of hell in a war among gods to seal their fate forever. After centuries of sleep, the gods are warring again, but 18-year-old Iris Winnow just wants to hold her family together. Her mother is suffering from addiction and her brother is missing from the front lines. Her best bet is to win the columnist promotion at the Oath Gazette. To combat her worries, Iris writes letters to her brother and slips them beneath her wardrobe door, where they vanish, into the hands of Roman Kit, her cold and handsome rival at the paper. When he anonymously writes Iris back, the 2 of them forge a connection that will follow Iris all the way to the front lines of battle for her brother, the fate of mankind, and love. I think it sounds good. I'm excited to read it. I mean, I don't read a lot of historical fiction. I don't think I have read a historical fiction, so that's new. But that is all of the books I am planning on reading for the rest of 2023. Hopefully I get through all of them. I mean, I'm honestly not too sure. My reading schedule has been really off since last year. I was in a reading slump for most of last year and also for like 2/3 of this year. So I don't have very high hopes for me. I'm hoping I will get through it, but if not, then it'll roll over into next year. I mean, I'll get through the books at some point. I don't want to like force myself to read because reading is something I do for fun and I find a lot of enjoyment in it, and I never want to make it feel like a job for me, even though like I post like content about like books. I never want to like make reading feel like a job for me because then it'll just take the fun out of it, and you know, that's not what reading is about, and that's not why I post videos either. But yeah, let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought about it, or if you have any more recommendations. I will gladly take them, even though my TBR list is probably a mile long and is probably going to be never ending. But yeah, that's all the books that I'm planning on reading for the rest of the year. Very, very excited for all of them. Hopefully you might have found some recommendations from this video. But yeah.